I'm going to show you how to vanish aches with smarter foam rolling and soft tissue work. Yep, I know the ways that don't work because I did them all. I would glide over areas and I thought that rolling it out would make me feel better, and it did for a second, but it never lasted. I could never really get those pangs to go away forever until I learned how to search and stay, and that is the strategy I'm going to show you today. I'm Coach JT, a personal trainer of a decade, and today we are going to talk about recovery, foam rolling, and soft tissue work, in particular for getting out all that muscle dysfunction and making sure that you can move without aches and pains. We're going to talk about how it is that you're doing it wrong. And again, I know this because I probably did it. So we'll talk about the wrong way to do it. We'll talk about the way that I found that leads to those lasting changes and why this can benefit your workouts and your strength training. Most people roll out like they're flattening dough, like they're about to create a pizza crust out of their muscles. And so they roll back and forth over those knotty or ropey dysfunctional areas. What people miss though is that typically the dysfunction, the pain, and the aches that we're feeling is located within our fascia, which is a body-wide connective tissue net, just spiderwebbing through our entire body, even into our muscles. Oftentimes, dysfunction is going to be in this fascia, but it's going to be localized because fascia's job is to absorb force. So if we have aches and pains, it's likely because we put too much force into one area that the fascia couldn't acutely absorb. The only way to actually improve those aches and pains is to find those acute areas and work at them. If we just roll general broad areas, we're going right over them and we're not actually creating any change or manipulating ourselves physically in any way. Our fascia can handle thousands of pounds of force, which is why, again, if something goes wrong, it's likely not going to be distributed over a wide area. It's going to be pretty centered, and we want to find that and crush it. If you're still hurting after your foam rolling and soft tissue work, it's probably because you're doing it the way that I just described, the way that I did it for a long time, that just is plainly wrong. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to search and stay, which is a strategy that will allow you to actually get rid of the aches and pains and dysfunction that you're feeling. What we wanna do is start by feeling around for tight, ropey, knotty spots. We can literally do this with our hands, or we can use whatever tool we're gonna do. I've got my trusty foam roller here. So we are going to start a little more globally, a little more rolling out like I described not to do, but that is the search part of the search and stay. So I'm gonna foam roll my lats as an example here. So again, what we wanna do is start off by rolling that whole muscle and really waiting till we find a spot that talks to us a little bit. Again, tight, ropey, knotty, but then we wanna stay there. So I'm gonna go side to side on this area a little bit. I can go up and down just a little bit, or I can even just sink into it. One of the biggest benefits to foam rolling is the connection, that mind-muscle connection, and just using the tool to target physically, to physically touch the area that is dysfunctional and then relax into it and use it as a kinesthetic touch to bring some relaxation to the area. So sometimes the best thing that is gonna do that is that side to side, up and down, and sometimes it's just sitting there and letting the tool sink in deeper and deeper into that dysfunctional area. I can even feel as I roll side to side, when I come a little more forward towards my armpit, I get a little more sensitive. I can feel a little more tightness there. So I'm gonna stay there for a while. You should stay here for anywhere from 30 seconds to a few minutes, working on that area until you get relief. Experiment with different tools too. You wanna have a variety of implements because every area of the body is gonna require something different, which is why I have just too goddamn many tools. I've got multiple kinds of balls here. So just your good old fashioned lacrosse ball, a mobility ball that's more ridged and so can grip a little bit better. And then even a yoga tune-up ball, about the same size as a yoga ball, or I'm sorry, a lacrosse ball, but it is softer and grippier. And that softness is different from the hardness of these two balls and may allow you to work certain areas better. I also have the bumpy foam roller, the gorgeous ball that this will inflate for your softer core areas, the peanut for your back because it's got a little space for your spine, and then the gumdrop, which has a different shape and pointedness at each corner and allows you to really target those knots and try and kind of match the size and get a little bit more, again, targeted soft tissue work. But if I'm gonna roll my hamstrings, for example, I don't want this big foam roller because it's not going to get deep enough work. What I want is something like this mobility ball that can really sink in there and get into the hamstring. This is too global for my hamstring, and so I want something that is a little bit more targeted, that I can sink into the muscle more pointedly. So use these different tools to your advantage, and over time, you'll find out which tool fits better for which areas or which type of dysfunction, and you'll be able to relieve those aches and pains more quickly. This strategy works because it targets fascia's knotty spots. Rather than gliding over them, we can actually get some relief, and that also allows us to move better and with more range of motion within our workouts. This new approach can give you more control over your body, and again, the aches and pains that you feel day to day or will no longer feel now that you're gonna be doing your soft tissue work correctly, and that is going to boost your performance. Master this search and stay strategy to relieve your aches and supercharge your strength training.